What's going on, everybody? This is Bryant from SneakerFiles.com, recapping the news. And before I jump into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. Now, there's a lot of good news in this video, a lot of highlights. But before I drop the highlights, I just want to apologize. I know I was supposed to drop the 2026 Air Jordan release dates ultimate guide video. Unfortunately, that had to be delayed until Monday. That is coming Monday. I'm pretty much all done recording that video, with the exception of some of the pairs in this video because I was just told about them. So of course I wanted to go over that with you guys. Now, as for some of the highlights, Awake NY will have 2 Air Jordan 6 collaborations dropping in fall 2026. As well, I got a handful of fall 2026 Air Jordan releases, new info on them, new pairs that will be released. I haven't seen them talked about anywhere, so pretty sure this is exclusive. Now, there's also a lot more from Jordan Brand in this video. As well, there's a strong lineup from Nike, and I'm going to go over the Nike Total Air Foamposite Max that a lot of people are saying is dropping in 2026, but that won't be the case, at least not for now. But I do have some additional details for you on that pair. And now, let's jump into the news. Alright, so we got official photos of the Nike GT Future in metallic silver. Now, we did see an initial preview thanks to the Sneakers Live, and this was months and months back, and at the time, we didn't have a release date, but that has changed. And before I go to the release date, overall, these look really nice. One thing I will note is that the colorway is metallic silver and black. However, in these images, it looks like the upper is actually white. However, the upper features 3M reflective, so when the light hits it right, you'll see it reflect. As for the release date, they are scheduled to drop on December 20th, and the retail price is $200. Now, again, this is a nice shoe, and I do like it, but I feel that $200 is a bit steep for this. Again, that's just my opinion. You can let me know yours down below. So we all thought that the Nike Book What The would be the last colorway to release before the Nike Book 1 drops. However, there's another colorway. Now, I'm not sure if the Book 2 will drop and then this pair will drop because we have a release time frame. Yes, I'm going to go over the Book 2 in this video, but the pair is known as the Book 1 Torched. And it said that the torch detailing, like it's been burned, signifies that the Book 1 is over with and now we're moving on to the Book 2. As you can see, the pair features white canvas on the upper, but then around the swoosh, on the toe, the tongue label, and part of the midsole, it looks like it's been burned. Booker was actually spotted wearing this pair recently, but as for the release time frame, they're expected to drop spring 2026, which means a release will take place between January and March, and the retail price will be $155. Again, this pair is said to be limited. Only 1,996 pairs will be released, which signifies the year that Booker was born, 1996. Official photos popped up of the Kobe Bryant Nike Air Force 1 Low Lenticular. Now, prior to this, we saw a mock-up going around, and this also serves as a first look. Now, the pair features a light armory blue and light armory blue colorway. Now, it appears that there's a bit more than light armory blue. You can see shades of gray throughout, as well as a darker shade of blue, and of course lighter shades. But for this pair, as you can see, we have the snakeskin pattern across the entire upper. I know with some of the Kobe Bryant Air Force 1s, the snakeskin pattern was only on the overlays or certain parts of the shoe, but this takes it all over. Furthermore, the unique designs on this pair resemble that of what the patterns you would see on a snake. On the inside of the left tongue, we have the number 8. On the right, it's the number 24. We have the Kobe Shield logo on the heel. Now, around the swoosh, it has 3M reflective, which has a rainbow effect to it. I'll make sure to include a photo of that as well. The lace dubras read Mamba and Mentality. And then it looks like they feature a white midsole and a translucent rubber outsole. It could also be a translucent midsole. It's kind of hard to tell. It kind of looks like it's just white, but it does blend in with the outsole nicely. Now for this pair, unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date, but they are expected to drop this holiday season. So anytime now in December, and the retail price will be $150. Months back, I put out a mock-up how the Nike Book 2 would look, and it was in the Spirit On colorway. The Spirit On pair is supposed to drop in February. However, before that happens, we have 2 colorways that will drop in the start of January. But Nike Basketball did put out a press release detailing the shoes. I'm going to read from the press release as well. I'm going to add in a little bit more information at the end, the specific release dates that we have for the two models, as well as the colorways and the retail price. But it reads, Nike Basketball is releasing the next chapter in Devin Booker's timeless signature athlete story, the Book 2 footwear and apparel collection. The ultimate creative, Devin worked closely with Nike designers to craft his second signature shoe into a modern classic, resulting in a low-profile, high-performance silhouette inspired by skateboarding, vintage cars, and classic Nike sportswear. The Book 2 is joined by Devin's latest signature apparel collection, an expertly curated selection of modern sportswear drenched in a sun-faded look that celebrates his career in Phoenix. For the Book 2, Devin challenged Nike basketball design and innovation experts to create a modern take on a classic basketball shoe that gets him as close to the court as possible without sacrificing comfort or performance. The low-profile design delivers a well-cushioned and responsive ride driven by the strategic combination of a 4-foot Air Zoom unit, bouncy Cushlon 3.0 midsole, and plush foam sock liner. A big thing for me was filling the court and being a bit lower to the ground, says Devin. A lot of inspiration came from classic shoes. One that comes to mind for me is the Air Zoom Spiridon. Remember, I leaked the colorway that will be coming in February, so that's interesting that's one of the pairs it's inspired by. With the early styles, I wanted to pay homage to Phoenix by starting with orange and black for the Phoenix and Rising colorways, giving fans something to rock at each game. As a student of basketball and a mindful curator, Devin pulled inspiration from classic Nike sneakers with the utmost intention. A durable outsole takes after the venerable Air Force One, featuring a new sun-dappled herringbone traction pattern that serves as a shout-out to Phoenix while helping hoopers stay fast on their feet, pivot, and get to their spot with time to spare. A closer look reveals cactus-inspired details and tiny asterisks drawn by Devin himself, and a lateral outrigger creates a wider base of support for quick, side-to-side movements and added on-court stability. Devin brought his meticulous attention to process and personal style to the product creation process, and his innate sense of curiosity and creativity led the design team to explore different midfoot containment options for the Book 2. Taking inspiration from the classic Nike Air Zoom Spiridon, two Book 2 models feature a lightweight, webbed mesh upper, while the others have a new molded upper that gives the shoe a more modern aesthetic while still providing a similar locked-in fit and solid midfoot support. For the Book 1, we were inspired by classic cars, where the engine is supercharged and tuned up, but the outsole looks classic, says Ben, and I can never pronounce his last name, Nethancom. I'm not entirely sure. If anyone can help me out in the comment section, please do. Lead designer for Devin's footwear. That approach cascaded to the Book 2, cloaking the innovation underneath. We lowered the profile of the shoe for enhanced court feel, and because we removed materials to get lower to the ground, we were able to move the Air Zoom unit from the heel to the forefoot, achieving Devin's desired feel and performance at a lighter weight. The Book 2 comes to life in a series of colorways that reflect Devin's keen understanding that sport and style serves as the ultimate form of self-expression, drawing inspiration from his 11 seasons in the Arizona desert, his meteoric collegiate career, and more. Devin's impeccable personal style also shines through in his Book 2 apparel collection, which brings the heat in 8 versatile pieces that serve as a homage to basketball culture. Devin and Nike designers experimented with applying different dyes, finishes, and prints to various fabrics to see where they wanted to land creatively, which led them to a sun-faded look that celebrates life in the desert and all Devin has achieved there. The collection applies classic basketball cuts to premium heavyweight fabrics that are finished with laser etching for a rugged yet tailored fit and feel, creating an on-court vibe that extends seamlessly from the stadium tunnel to the street. Pieces include long-sleeve t-shirts honoring Haven, Devin's first Cane Corso Mastiff, a cutoff shirt with a raw edge created to Devin's exact specifications, a woven jacket, and a game pant and a brushed hoodie, short, and pant. Nike Book 2 footwear and apparel will be available in January 2026 at Nike.com in select retail locations. Now, as for the upcoming colorways, they did go over them briefly in the press release. The first one is known as Rising. That will feature a black, safety orange, and sundial colorway. Now, the second pair is known as Phoenix, and this one features a sundial medium ash, black, safety orange, and clay orange colorway. Both pairs will drop on January 2nd, and the retail price will be $145 each. For the past couple years, I've heard rumors that Paul George's first signature shoe, the Nike PG1, would eventually retro. I believe the first pair that was rumored that I heard was the PlayStation pair, although I never received confirmation, so I didn't talk about it, but it was rumors. Obviously, it never happened, but we now have confirmation that at least one colorway will return in 2026. So this pair is known as Flip the Switch. It features a black, deep royal blue, photo blue, blue fury, and hyperviolet colorway. These initially dropped in 2017, and I've always been a fan of the PG1. I do own a couple colorways. This one I don't own, so I do plan on picking them up, but this pair is also part of a wider collection that dropped back in 2017, known as Flip the Switch collection. And the pairs that also released in the collection is the Kyrie 3. Great shoe, by the way. The Kyrie 2 was really awesome as well. The Kobe AD, the KD 9 Elite, and the LeBron 14. So each pair was released to celebrate the upcoming playoffs. However, the release time frame for this pair appears to be just a bit outside the NBA playoffs because they're expected to return fall 2026, which means a release will take place between July and September. Currently, no retail price. Alright, so I've been getting a lot of DMs about this shoe in pretty much every sneaker publication or blog, whatever you want to call it, has been running with the whole narrative that the Nike Total Air Foamposite Max will return in 2026. Now, apparently, this has stemmed from something that Frank Cooker posted to Instagram. He shared a photo of the Total Air Foamposite Max, sharing it from somebody else. The individual said, "Run them back, long overdue, tag Nike, Frank Cooker, Nike Basketball, and Nike Sportswear." His caption, Frank Cooker's that is, was "Heard you." So from that, every publication just ran rampant that they're going to return in 2026. Now, he did post a rebuttal because everybody posted about them returning in 2026. He shared another image of the shoes and he put, "Working through it for the best results, won't be 2026. I came into this video just to talk about that they won't drop in 2026. Now, what I heard is that they could drop in 2027 or even 2028. So yes, there is a possibility that they will return. It does look likely. However, I've also heard this before. Back in 2020, they were supposed to return, but they didn't. Don't get me wrong. I want these to return, but I'm not holding my breath until I get a style code and so forth, because I believe in the past they've had some issues creating the shoe or recreating it. Although it's not like they've never made a retro of them. Although it has been some time since they released. As you know, this is an OG colorway, first dropped in 1998. And the shoes are closely associated with Tim Duncan. David Robinson also wore them. And the last time that this colorway dropped was in 2011. In my opinion, it's the best one. Such an incredible shoe in my opinion. Now, just to clear things up, there is nothing planned for 2026. Unfortunately, 2027 is a possibility, but also 2028. Obviously, things could change, but I'm hoping for the best because I would absolutely love for the shoe to return. I definitely need to own a pair. I never owned this colorway. I owned the pair, but it's a different colorway. And back in elementary school, I had a friend who owned them, and back in the day, it was cool to switch shoes, so it looked like you owned more pairs that you actually didn't. And this is the pair that I would wear, but they were like boots playing in them. But great shoe overall, and once I have more information, I definitely will make sure to update you. Alright, so we are moving on to Jordan Brand, and we finally have a release date for the PSG Air Jordan 5 in Off Noir. Now, these images, the official photos, have been going around for some time, and quite a few people have been asking about the release date. Now, currently, this pair is scheduled to drop on December 3rd. Now, there was a page on Nike.com for the shoes. However, that product page has been removed. It was live on the website, so anybody could see it. It wasn't anything on the back end. I'm not sure why it was removed, but as of now, they are expected to drop on December 3rd. Also, the retail price will be $215. We have product shots of the Air Jordan 4 Sierra Red, also known as Valentine's Day. Probably our best look yet at the shoes. And these photos come from JD Sports. Now, the pair features a pale ivory, Sierra Red, and tough red colorway. Now, from these images, you could see that it features a pale ivory upper constructed with leather. It also has leather on the tongue. The leather on the tongue actually looks pretty decent. Sierra Red accents run throughout, and then on part of the midsole, it has a metallic red finish, which is said to represent nail polish. Now, on the overlay that wraps the toe and runs on part of the side, you can see the top part of it has a bit of red. I actually like that look. They also feature a Jumpman on the heel. Now, they will feature lipstick kisses on the inside of the tongue, but unfortunately, we can't see it in these photos, but you can see it where it lands on the insoles. So it will be repeated on the insoles with a Jumpman logo. The look is completed with pale ivory and Sierra Red on the rubber outsole. Now, these will be a women's release. I actually think this colorway is really nice, and they're currently scheduled to drop on February 7th. The retail price will be $220. We have new images of the SoleFly Air Jordan 3, known as Miami, as well as some release details. Now, aside from that, we also have like a small description of what the pair is inspired by. And it's inspired by the founder of SoleFly, Carlos Prieto, and his family's journey from Cuba to Miami. As you can see, the shoes feature Miami Hurricanes colors. I will say that with these photos, the shape looks really good. The color blocking looks nice as well. We could see the Nike Air on the heel. We could see the SoleFly logo embossed on the suede overlay, which replaces elephant print. Now, it looks like there's a special label on the inside of the tongue, but I can't quite read it. And they also come with special packaging. Now, alongside the shoes, there will be matching apparel. Stuff that will be released includes a hat, a jacket, some t-shirts, and some shorts. Now, as for the release details, the pair will drop exclusively at an event on December 4th during Art Basel. Now, if you're at Art Basel, that will probably be your best chance to purchase, although it probably still will be difficult. But there is a wider launch, which is scheduled for December 5th, and there's also pairs dropping in Mexico and Colombia. The retail price is $230. Now, with this wider launch, I'm sure that they will be available on SoleFly's website, but it isn't known about the Sneakers app just yet, but I should have more information soon. We got new images of the Virgil Abloh Archive Air Jordan 1 High OG Alaska. Now, although we have new images, there's no new information on the release info. I've heard a rumor that they will be really limited. I don't think that surprises many of us. However, thanks to Mr. Unloved Ones, I actually believe him, so I shouldn't exactly say a rumor. More than likely, it is true. He is well informed. Personally, I think that's a letdown, especially since, you're making a collab not only to remember him, but to support his family, because I'm sure Virgil's estate is, getting some kickbacks here. But why not make them more available, especially for the fans of his past work? You're just setting this up to be like an obvious resale shoe that most people will have a difficult time to get their hands on. But I will say it is a clean shoe. The color blocking is nice. Yes, it's pretty much on point to the Euro pair that dropped back in 2017. The only difference is the branding on the medial side, which you could see in these photos, and it reads VAA for Nike Air Jordan 1, Beaverton, Oregon, USA, C.1985. So instead of Off-White for Nike, it has VAA for Nike. And I believe this change comes from the fact that Nike and Off-White couldn't land a deal. So instead, why not just go with Virgil's estate? Everyone knows Off-White to be connected to Virgil. And personally, I think this pair is a lot better connecting to Virgil specifically and not just Off-White. It still has all the Off-White elements, like Air in quotations, the small label, shoelaces on the shoelaces. They will come with a zip tie and so forth. Now, as for a specific release date, unfortunately, we don't have one, but expected to drop spring 2026, which means a release will take place between January and March. Also, the retail price is expected to be $195, but it could be a bit higher. About 3 weeks ago, images started to circulate of the PSG Air Jordan 6, known as metallic silver. As most of you know, PSG will drop their own Air Jordan 6 in spring 2026. Now, I did put a mock-up out of these months back. I didn't know how it was going to look, and from the first look, which I'm calling these images a first look, it's different than the mock-up. Now, the initial photos that did go out about 3 weeks ago is from a rep seller, and I know people don't like sharing that, and I obviously don't like to share it as well, knowingly share it. I don't care what you guys do with your money. If you want to buy fakes, that's totally up to you. It doesn't bother me. But for the channel's purposes and everything like that, I'd rather, keep it authentic. But the pair is okay. It features a metallic silver, pure platinum, and oil gray colorway. As you can see, we have metallic silver pretty much plastered all over. It looks like it has some white detailing as well as a very, very faint shade of gray. They also feature the PSG logo on the heel. I will say that looks actually pretty dope. And it also has the branding on the insoles. I think these would have been a lot better, maybe if it was a different colorway, but some of you might like it, but I feel like the PSG crest should have been on the tongue, not just the heels. Again, that's just my opinion, but the shoes also feature oil gray on the midsole, while the outsole has areas that feature a milky, translucent finish. So again, with this pair, unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date, but they're going to drop spring 2026, meaning sometime between January and March, and the retail price will be $215. Part of the regional pack, we had the Air Jordan 11 Tokyo dropping in spring 2026, and a couple days ago, more photos popped up, which, in my opinion, I feel like these photos are way better than what Nike put out. Nike's photos had like this filter over it. It looked kind of grainy, and I wasn't a fan of it. You really couldn't tell like the colors of them and so forth. You can tell the design, but I don't know. I felt like they just overdid the photos. But this pair features a light bone, phantom, gray, cell, and light bone colorway. The best part about the shoe, at least in my opinion, is the embroidered mountain goat on the tongue. That also references MJ being the goat. Now, overall, the pair will feature premium materials, depending who you ask premium, but it does look nice. The mudguard, which I feel looks good, it features leather. It starts in gray and then it gradients to almost a white. It's like a lighter shade of gray. Actually, kind of like that look. The Jumpman is also embroidered on the ankles. And then the outsole, it has like this yellow tint, at least in the images. And right around the Jumpman, we have the years that MJ and the Bulls won NBA championships. Now, unfortunately for this pair, we don't have a specific release date, but they are expected to drop spring 2026 and no retail price, but they should be around $255. Also, these will drop, or they're said to drop, exclusively in Japan. Now, they could drop at other locations because the whole regional pack for Las Vegas, Atlanta, and Houston, they're dropping outside their respective cities. I know there's places near me that are getting the Las Vegas and the Houston pairs. They're not getting the Atlanta pair, but we're nowhere near Houston, so I'm not really sure how they're doing this whole regional release thing, honestly. Speaking of the regional pack, we have official photos of the Air Jordan 11 China. Now, these will drop in 2025. You won't have to wait until next year. Again, another shoe that looks really good. It does look premium, and they feature a gym red, soft pearl, gum medium brown, and metallic gold colorway. Now, looking closer, the pair features brown on the mudguard constructed with leather. It reminds me like a really nice wood grain of some sort. It looks really good in my opinion. Kind of shiny in certain areas, like a wooden floor that was really buffed up nice and has that glossy overlay. The pair also features intricate detailing. On the mesh upper, it features an embroidered design as well as beads. The pair also has gold Nike Air branding on the insoles. On the inside of the tongue, it has a unique label. It does have Chinese characters. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what this says. And if you do know, please leave a comment down below letting me know so I can be informed going forward. The pair also features a gum rubber outsole that is semi-translucent with gym red accents. Now, for this pair, they're going to drop on December 1st, and the retail price should be about $255. Also, it's said that they're going to drop exclusively in China, but we'll have to wait and see if that's actually true. Hopefully, it'll be at more locations. Potentially December's biggest release, we had the return of the Air Jordan 11 Gamma, also known as Gamma Blue. Now, recently, official images did pop up, giving us our best look yet, And I gotta be honest, these look incredible. With the official photos, there's something about them that just draws me to them even more. I always like the shoes. I do own the original release, which dropped back in 2013. And for a long time, a lot of people have been asking for a retro, and we're getting pretty close to it happening. Now, I did hear a rumor, and it's only a rumor, that there potentially could be a shock drop on these soon. Now, typically Jordan Brand, or I should say the sneakers app, they do a shock drop on the Air Jordan 11 each year. So it's not too big of a surprise. I just don't know the day or the time frame. I just heard a rumor, so just wanted to give you guys the heads up on that. Maybe keep a lookout, turn on notifications on the sneakers app so you can be in the know. I don't think I'll have the info ahead of time to do a video, but at least me giving you the heads up now, it could potentially help. Now, this will be a massive GR, shouldn't be a big surprise. A lot of people do like them, they do want them, they'll be available at most retailers. Don't pay resale on these. They should be pretty easy to obtain just because the amount of stores that are getting them. And potentially you could get them early. Hopefully they do shock drop. Now, if I'm able to let you guys know ahead of time, I definitely will. You can always follow SneakerFiles on Twitter at SneakerFiles. If anything, I could post it there. But as for the release date, they're scheduled to drop on December 13th, and the retail price will be $235. Now I'm going to talk about more 2026 Air Jordan releases, and the first pair I need to talk about is the Air Jordan 6 Low Metamorphosis. Now, what's shown is a mock-up, but they'll feature a black desert berry and metallic silver colorway. I'm not sure how these are going to look with the whole Metamorphosis nickname. It might be inspired by butterflies, because reading from Google, metamorphosis in an insect or amphibian is the process of transformation from an immature form to an adult form in 2 or more distinct stages. Hopefully they metamorphoses into a decent looking shoe, because I'm not really a fan of these. I wish they would transform themselves into a mid, because personally I like the mid more than the low, but hey, that's just my opinion. Metamorphosis could also mean a change of the form or nature of a thing or a person into a completely different one by nature or supernatural means. Now, I kind of think it could be a butterfly due to the colors also being a women's release, but I'm not entirely sure. Now, for this pair, they're going to drop fall 2026 and no retail price as of yet. Next up is another women's release, and this pair is known as the Air Jordan 3 Sports Renaissance. I have no idea the inspiration for this shoe. I looked up what Sports Renaissance was, and it's a period of time roughly between 1450 and 1650 where sports and physical activities gain new importance, shifting from purely medieval traditions to a more intellectual and health-focused endeavor. Now, the official colorway is Obsidian, Track Red, Blue Beyond, and Chalk. So this is just a mock-up. Again, I'm not sure how these are going to look, but they're going to drop fall 2026, meaning a release will take place between July and September, and the retail price will be $205. Now, this next pair will be a men's release, and it's the Air Jordan 1 High OG Love the Game. Now, this could be part of For the Love of the Game series, and it's just abbreviated to Love the Game. As some of you may know, the For the Love of the Game series started back in 2010. We saw the release of the Air Jordan 7, the Air Jordan 9, and the Air Jordan 2010. That was the outdoor version. Now, in 2019, we did see a grade school pair of the Air Jordan 4 drop. Now, basically, for those pairs, they had like a heart shaped as a basketball somewhere placed on the shoe. Typically the lateral side, but the Air Jordan 9, it was featured on the heel. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this pair will be part of For the Love of the Game, or it's a new series, simply Love the Game. It makes more sense For the Love of the Game, honestly. But this pair will feature a shadow brown, soft pearl, light British tan, pale ivory, muslin, and team red colorway. This is just a mock-up. I haven't seen this pair, but they're going to drop fall 2026, and the retail price will be $185. Okay, this will be the last women's release of this video, and we have the release of the Air Jordan 4 Birds of Paradise. Now, this is another mock-up. I'm not sure how they're going to look. I haven't seen them, but they'll feature a coconut milk, metallic gold, muslin, bright mango, sundial, and black colorway. Now, Birds of Paradise, it's an actual bird, but it's also a flower. Now, the shades used kind of look like the flower, not too much, but apparently the flower It symbolizes freedom, joy, and magnificence due to its resemblance to a bird in flight. Now, like I mentioned, there is a type of bird known as birds of paradise. Honestly, looking at these images of the birds, I don't really see anything that pinpoints this. But if they do wind up looking like this, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of cool in my opinion. I do like it. And as for the release info, this pair will drop fall 2026, and the retail price will be $215. In my opinion, for the leaks, I'm saving the best for last. And in 2026, Awake NY will collaborate with Jordan Brand once again, but this time on the Air Jordan 6. Now, this year, earlier in the year, not too long ago, Awake NY dropped 2 colorways of the Air Jordan 5. Those sold out pretty fast. But to celebrate the 35th anniversary, they're going to work on the Air Jordan 6. Now, I do have some info, but what's shown for both colorways are just mock-ups. I'm not sure how they're going to look. And the mock-ups were based off of, well, sort of, the Air Jordan 5. As you can see, we have the Awake A logo on the lateral side. I'm not sure if that's actually going to be featured on the release or they're going to do something completely different. But I do know the colorways of both. Now, the first one will feature Midnight Navy, Infrared 2-3, Game Royal, and Light Blue. That pair I just nicknamed Midnight Navy, and the second pair I'm calling Playful Pink due to the colorway, and it features Playful Pink, Infrared 2-3, Shy Pink, and Arctic Pink. So these were a late ad for fall 2026 because I pretty much had the entire list for fall 2026 from Jordan Brand, and these were literally added 2 days ago. I was really reluctant on waiting to drop this information today. I was going to leak it early and then drop my video today, but unfortunately I had to wait. But hey, the information is now out. Hopefully before this goes live, no one beats me to it because at the time of recording, no one has leaked this information. I'm not going to lie, both pairs are kind of nice. I wouldn't mind if they look like the mock-up, but you can let me know your opinion on the two down below. Now, as for a specific release date, unfortunately, I don't have one, but they're going to drop fall 2026, meaning a release will take place between July and September, and I don't have a retail price. However, they should retail around $230 or even $235, hopefully not that high. I've noticed in collabs are dropping around $230, so I would expect these to be about the same. Also, more than likely, you can expect both pairs to be on the limited side, available at Awake NY. Potentially one or both could drop on the Sneakers app, but that part isn't confirmed at the time of recording. Anyways, I definitely will have more information soon. Hopefully, I get a first look at both of these soon, and the other pairs that I went over. And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have a second and haven't done so already, also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. One more thing, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. Now, for sure, I am going to drop the 2026 Air Jordan releases Ultimate Guide on Monday. Sadly, as you guys heard early on, it had to be delayed, but I didn't want to go a week without uploading something, and then the news started to pile up. I got in this Awake NY news, so I felt that I needed to at least drop this news video. So hopefully you guys like the video. I'm also going to drop another video next week. It should be the December 2026 Air Jordan release dates video, probably after Thanksgiving, so be on the lookout for both of those. But for this video, let me know what you liked or disliked down below. As well, if you have any questions, make sure to leave those down below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.